Are you ready to change your fitness once and for all? If you are, you want to stay tuned. I'm CJ Johnson. I'm going to work on my tech for just a second while I tell you what's coming up. Give me just a minute here. Oh, the last couple Tuesdays have been a bit challenging with the tech and the streams. So hang on a second and let me see if we can get this stabilized. There we go. Okay, looks like it's happening. So are you ready to change your fitness? I don't know about you. I can tell you there have been just countless times that I've started, I've stopped, and I've worked with clients who start and who stop and who start and who stop. And it really comes down to a couple of things, and that's what I'm going to share with you tonight, are the ways that you can change your fitness. So if you have questions, make sure that you put the questions down below. Let me just see if I can get my feed going so I can see your questions. Hi, John. Welcome. Give me a little thumbs up if you're having a good evening. This is the pre-show. The show actually starts in just a couple minutes, just about 6 o'clock. I come on a little bit early because I want to make sure that all of my tech is working. And sometimes it doesn't, like last week. Sorry I missed last week. It wasn't working. But tonight we're going to talk about those things that challenge you. But more importantly, what are some of the things that you can do to overcome those challenges? And that's one of the biggest things. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, here I am. Oh, silly CJ. Okay, we'll get it on there in just a second. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So tonight, that's what we're talking about, is the things that challenge you when you want to get fit, and what you can do to get fit once and for all, how you can overcome those challenges. And what I'm going to give to you tonight are very concrete things to help you to do just that, because I believe in living in the solution. If that sounds good for you, give me a little bit of a thumbs up there. My name is CJ Johnson. My passion is helping people just like you who are over the age of 40 look and feel their best and age the way that you want to age. It's not always easy, but there are definitely solutions. And I know time changes, things change, but concrete habits are the type of things that will help us to attain our most fit level. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because I do know a thing or two about fitness. That's me back in the day. Oh my goodness. I look at that picture. I put that picture up every week to remind myself of what it used to be like, and the fact that I don't want to go back to that again. And in fact, it's really easy to slip backwards. There was a recent study that came out of the Biggest Loser contestants. On average, they had lost 128 pounds. 6 years later, they gained 98 pounds back. The average person, the average Biggest Loser contestant. So that's what I want to talk about. I found some keys to maintaining my health and fitness. That picture was me when I was 38. I'm now 54, and those are the keys that I share with you each and every Tuesday night here at 6 p.m. If you stick around to the end, I have a free giveaway for you that is one of those things that can help you to find out what you're good at in your fitness, and maybe what you're not so good at, and what you should be practicing and doing to help you to be fit overall. And again, the goal, at least, healthy aging. So tonight, how do we revolutionize our fitness? Here's just a little bit of overview. First of all, I think it's important that you know why you haven't succeeded, and really, it's not all of your fault. Then we're going to get clear on how to succeed. We're going to talk about scheduling. We're going to talking about a technique that has worked for both me as well as my husband, anchoring it, and I know it happens to a lot of people. And then we're going to do a little pre-planning, because if there's anything that I know about doing any kind of planning, life happens. And when life gets in the way, that's when we can get derailed very quickly. And I don't know about you, but when I'm going and I am on track, and then all of a sudden I'm off the rails, it takes me a long time to get back on. I don't usually jump back on right away. I seem to go through failed attempts and started attempts. And so what I've decided is it's easier staying on track. And those are the solutions that I want to share with you tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Does that sound good? If it does, give me a little thumbs up. Give me a little heart. Perfect. Alrighty. Okay. So very first thing, why you haven't succeeded. First of all, it's not your fault. One of the things that tends to happen to us is when we're starting a new program or a new habit or trying to do something different, we are unclear. We know what we want, kinda, but it's usually kind of vague and very fuzzy. How many times have you ever said this to yourself? I want to lose weight. I want to get into better shape. I want to exercise more. Notice all of those things are very vague. Most of us here, again, we're over 40. We're not new to goal setting. We've heard this rodeo before. We've heard about SMART goals. We've heard about all these types of things. What's important about setting something up for yourself is making sure that you're clear of exactly what it is that you want to do. So if getting fit is important to you, what does getting fit mean to you? Because getting fit for you might be very something different for getting fit for me. Okay, and chances are it probably is. So you maybe haven't gotten the results you want because you aren't real clear about the results that you do want. So first thing is you're unclear, and then the second thing is we tend to throw way too many things out at one time. And just in the next example that I gave you is, well, I want to get more fit. And then you can say, well, I want to be more fit, so that means I'm going to lose more weight. I want to exercise more. I want to play tennis more often. I want to play pickleball. You know, that's one of my favorite sports. I want to play pickleball more. All those things come up. So now I have all these different things going on in my brain. I'm not clear about what it is that I want to do. And if the mind is confused, you are not going to perform. So it really hasn't always been all your fault. You've thought about things, but maybe you didn't know up until tonight how to define some of those things that are going to help you. So we're letting you off the hook, and tonight I'm going to give you some tools to take away some of that confusion, to take away the do too much at once. Okay, so how exactly, what do we do first? What's the first thing to do? What do? We need to get focused. That's going to be number one. So since this is the health and wellness show and we're going to talk about health and wellness, that's the example I'm using. How do you get more fit? Well, what you do is, first of all, you write it down. What does get fit mean to you? Exactly what does it mean? Does that mean I need to lose weight? If so, how much weight do I need to lose? Does that mean I need to start working out? If it does, what kind of workouts do I need? How many times a week do I want to work out? Do I want to do cardio workouts? Do I want to do strength training workouts? How many times a week would getting fit be to you? For some people, getting fit is working out 3 times a week. For me, I already work out a minimum 6 times a week. For me, getting more fit involves I need to treat my body better and I need to recover more. Maybe that's something that it is for you as well. So the very first thing is getting clear and getting focused on what you do. Right now I'm leading a group through the Whole Life Challenge. And one of the things that I love about the Whole Life Challenge, it focuses on 7 different areas of fitness. Really overall health and well-being. But what it does, even though you're focused on 7 different areas of fitness, it breaks it all down and they all build one on top of the other. And what I've found as people go through the challenge is one area is more important to them than the other. As an example, I had somebody the other day who had a day where she didn't do well with her nutrition. But one of the things she said is, nutrition was not important to me. That's not why I joined this challenge. The reason I joined the challenge was overall well-being. So that's what's at the top of her list. So even though you may need to, in the example I gave, get fit, you may need to lose weight, start working out more, doing cardio. You may need to do all of those things. We need to put them in a prioritized situation so that we know exactly what's going to come first so that you can get results. So the way you start by doing that is you get a pen and a piece of paper. Okay, if you like to do it on the computer, do it on the computer, but get a pen and a piece of paper and go ahead and write it all down. So that's the number one thing. Then the number two thing is what's first. After you've gotten all of those things, you need to go through and you need to define what's first. As I mentioned, in the Whole Life Challenge, we're changing 7 habits. We're working on nutrition, we're working on exercise, flexibility and mobility, sleep, hydration, overall well-being, and then our last point is for reflection, looking back on the day. Of those 7 things, again, we're trying to do a little bit of each one of those, but we're prioritizing them, and each person prioritizes them differently based upon what they need. As an example, in the challenge, there's 10 minutes of exercise. That's a minimum, 10 minutes of something that stretches you. There's somebody in the challenge who I know is overcoming an injury. She's been on the injured reserve. 10 minutes of exercise, she's a healthy person and used to exercising, but 10 minutes of exercise is a challenge for her. So it depends on where you're at. So once you get that whole list, look at the list, and even if you're going to try to do multiple things at one time, I want you to put them down in order of importance, because then what we're going to do is we're going to start to tackle them in small ways. So as an example, if nutrition is your first thing and you want to focus on that, focus wholeheartedly on the nutrition. If exercise is on that list because you're trying to lose weight and get fit, let's do exercise for 10 minutes a day. Not say, oh my gosh, I got to go to the gym 5 days a week for an hour. If you try to go from 0 to 5 days a week for an hour, you're not doing yourself any service. It's not going to happen. Not consistently. You're going to go through 1 or 2 weeks, you're going to get so darn sore, you're going to quit. And who knows, that's probably already happened to you. But 10 minutes, we can do pretty much 10 minutes of everything, of anything during the course of the day. We can find ways to work that into our schedule. So even if you have multiple things that need to happen in your list, prioritize them. And then even if you start them all together, we start the ones that are number 2, 3, and 4. We start those in a very, very small way first. Don't jump into it all at once. So once you got your list, once you've prioritized it, does that make sense? If it does, give me a little thumbs up. And if you do have any questions, please go ahead and put them down in the questions down below, and I'm happy to answer them. So once you've got what's first, then you're going to get into scheduling it. And this is so super important. Scheduling it, writing it down. And there's something magical that happens when you put pen to paper. And studies have actually shown that. There are things that happen inside of our brain when we write it down. So even if you have a computer schedule, I would encourage you to write it down. Now here's what works for me, and I try and keep it really simple, because if it's not simple, I'm not going to do it. So on Sunday nights, I sit down and my first scheduling thing is I look at the whole entire week, and what I want to do is I want to put down all my non-negotiables for that particular week. So a non-negotiable is, if you have a job where you have to be there from 9 to 5 and you have absolutely no flexibility, you work from 9 to noon, you take a break from noon to 1, and then you work from 1 to 5 o'clock. That's your schedule. You are expected to be there. You have no flexibility around that. 9 to 1 and 1 to 5 are non-negotiables. Now your lunch hour, that is a negotiable, so that one should kind of be left open. But put in all of your non-negotiables. You do charity work, and every week you have a meeting on Tuesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. That's a non-negotiable. Make sure that gets in there. Now, a little word of caution. Sometimes we take our habits and we make them non-negotiable. As an example, picking up the kids from ski practice. You might consider that a non-negotiable because you've always done it. But perhaps if you have a partner, a spouse, maybe one of the kids is starting to drive, perhaps there's another parent that you could share those duties with, that time is conceivably negotiable. My caution here is don't put something down just because you've always done it. Truly make sure that it is a non-negotiable. Okay, so that's the very first thing I do on Sunday nights. I put down all my non-negotiables into my schedule. Then the next thing I do is I look at what that top priority is. So if that top priority for me is nutrition, in order to get healthy nutrition, I'm going to need to cook. I need to now put that into my schedule. When am I going to cook? I'm probably going to try and carve out some time on Sunday and get a jump cooking for the rest of the week. When might I not have time to cook, where I've got a meeting or I have that charity event that I'm going to? Perhaps that's when I need to order a HelloFresh box or something that is still compliant to my nutrition plan, but much faster for me to do. Maybe I need to plan a meal on that lunch hour, a good meal on that lunch hour, and perhaps I need a protein shake to take along with me because my evening is going to be spent running around to different activities for the kids or whatever they have going on. So maybe I need to take something healthy with me. So that's how I take my priority and start to place it into my week. Where does it move around? If your priority is exercising, where can you put it? How many days a week are you going to do it? How much time are you going to do it for? Where can you put it into your week? So that's the very first thing that I do is I schedule it in every night on Sunday night. And while I'm scheduling it in, you've heard me talking briefly about anchoring it. I am trying to put that behavior, and that's what anchoring is I'm trying to take a behavior I already do, and I am trying to put it in my new behavior alongside of it. Here's an example. During the last Whole Life Challenge, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to stretch more. I teach skiing. By the end of the ski season, I am sore because I have not been religious about sticking to that stretching schedule. And this has gone on for years and years and years. So what I did every day I get home from skiing, cold. I'm very cold. I love being out in the snow, but I get really cold. So one of the things I do is I jump into the bath. I took the new behavior, which is stretching, and I anchored it to an old behavior, which is bathing. I would get in, I take my bath. To the last 5 minutes of the bath, I started doing some gentle stretches in the tub. Once I got out and dried off, I took those stretches onto a mat, and lo and behold, now I had spent around 15 minutes. My goal was 10 minutes a night, but I really spent around 15 minutes getting in a good, healthy stretch. And that's simply by anchoring one behavior, a new behavior, to an old behavior. So take something you're already doing and add something new to it. Another example for me is I want to get more water. I want to hydrate more often. Get more water into my body. It's great for your muscles. Most of us just don't drink enough water. So what I started doing is when I poured my morning cup of coffee, which was a habit for me, it's something I'm already doing. When I started pouring my morning cup of coffee, I also made myself, my water is Soda Stream water. I like a carbonated water. I made myself a Soda Stream water and I set it right next to my coffee cup. So while I'm drinking my morning coffee, I am drinking my water. So not only am I getting additional water, I'm getting water at a great time of day because my body has been repairing itself all night long and I haven't had anything to drink since I've gone to bed, and truly my body needs the water at that point in time. So once you've scheduled it, as you're looking into your schedule, try to anchor the new behavior to an old behavior for greater success. Then the last part of this is, you know what? Life happens. It happens to all of us. It doesn't matter how much we plan, how many things that we're doing, right? I don't know about you. I can plan my whole week out, but I can guarantee you it is not going to stay perfect. It is going to change. Guaranteed. So what I do is I revise it every single night. Now, once I planned out my whole week, I leave that week like it is, but every single night before I go to bed, I spend 5 minutes, and probably, I say 5 minutes, I don't think it takes me 5 minutes. I think it's probably more like 2 minutes. And I look at my priorities for the next day, what's going on the next day, what needs to be moved, what needs to be changed, where do I have some flexibility, and I kind of rearrange that day just a little bit, making sure that my top priority, my goal, is at the very top of that. How am I going to fit that into that day? And what behavior am I going to anchor that to? So I have, it's literally building blocks. You're focusing on number one, you're scheduling that time in, you're anchoring it to the behavior, and then you're changing it so that you can accomplish it during the course of your day. Okay. So those are the 4 things. If you got any questions, make sure